Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And welcome to Toy Rewind. I am Michael.
I'm John.
And I'm Andrew. And this week, we're taking a quick glance back in 1986. Here's a few things happened in 1986 just to get you in the right mindset. Mike Tyson became the youngest ever heavyweight boxing champion. And that still stands, by the way. I looked it up. Aldo Rivera opened Al Capone's vault to find pretty much nothing. Ferris Bueller taught us that life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. And he took his day off, and Mattel released their space western toy line, BraveStarr. That's what we're talking about this week. We are talking about BraveStarr. It's a fun toy line, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. So before we jump into that, we got a couple other things we need to do. John, can you give us a social media's rundown?
Sure can. Hey, you know how much gas was in 1986?
24 cents?
89 cents.
89 cents.
89 cents.
Jeez.
So, but yeah, so for our socials, check our website out, toyrewindpodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram and Twitter at toyrewindpod. Look us up on Facebook and join in our conversations there. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/toyrewindpod. We stream our toy box showcases we stream our toy box showcases on Facebook and Twitch. And then Andrew's got us all hooked up on YouTube. So you can check us out there and catch any of I guess they're not live feeds, but the recordings of us doing these after we put them up and everything, and actually watch us. You can play podcast bingo at podcastbingo.com/toy rewind. Have some fun with that. Let us know if you get a bingo. And then you can also email us toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com.
Do you know that I could fill up my car for like less than $10 if gas was 89 cents? My little Mini Cooper, it would be less than $10. Mm-hmm. And I don't ever go anywhere. So like that would probably last me like a month. That's ridiculous. So let's get gas back to 89 cents. Let's do that. We can do that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Probably not.
So check out our social media. We've got a lot of stuff that's in the works, things that are going to be happening in the next few weeks, hopefully. If everything works out, we'll have, you'll be able to listen to this. And then hopefully the next time you hear from us, it'll be something that's new. We're still working on a start date, so not absolutely sure if it's the next thing, but it'll be pretty close. We got some big stuff working with Geek Together on a few things, so hopefully real soon we'll have some new stuff coming to you and some new information. So got that coming. Be sure you check us out on those social medias. I can't talk today. Because that's where you're going to get that information, find out when we're going to do that stuff and everything. Also, our toy box showcases that we do currently that are just randomly whenever will be live on YouTube next time we do one, because I have that linked up now. So we're going to be able to go live on YouTube. So we'll be live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So check that out. Be sure you'll follow us. All right. So one more thing before we jump into our toy talk, we have our fun for all question. This is if you're new to listening to us, we're obviously not one of those podcasts that you have to listen to everything, in order. Find your toy lines that you want to listen to and get information about them. So this is our question, like just kind of an icebreaker question. So yeah, we can and we just have a little fun with it. This one is really fun because it has to do with family, and since we are family, it's kind of why I picked this one. Where would you want to escape to? What fictional family would you want to be a part of, and why? So I think we need to, before we actually start answering, because this may change your answers, we need to define family.
Okay.
Does it have to be an actual family unit, or can it be, friends or family too, Like, what do you guys think?
I think it's family. I think
I
it
think
needs
it's
to
family.
be an actual family.
Okay, so Michael has to come up with a different answer than the Goonies. Part of the
And
Goonies.
I've got a different
Okay.
answer. Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure, like, because I
Yeah.
had one, I wouldn't mind being part of this family, but they're more of a
Yeah, I
friend.
was leaning towards being part of the family. So that's
Okay.
I considered that when I was thinking.
All right, well, since we've got that defined and we're good, we'll start with you, Michael.
Okay, I would like to be a cousin to the Dukes and Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh gosh,
I'm gonna be a Duke boy, good old boy.
Just a cousin.
Just a
Well, they're all
cousin.
cousins. None of them are brothers or sisters. They're all cousins.
I guess that's true.
You
That's
got
true.
Uncle Jesse, and you got Bo and Luke, and then you got they're all cousins.
They're all cousins.
Yeah. Even the two fake cousins that come in and filled in while Bo and Luke were out. So
That's quite an interesting family to be a part of. So
yeah, Daisy, you got Daisy. Yeah, they're
So-
all cousins.
you're talking about the Dukes family from the TV show,
Yeah, the
and,
TV
and,
show.
and not like the new movies. So
No,
Willie Nelson is not Uncle Jesse.
no.
Okay, just I didn't know how far you were going with that. Like, I mean, is there any reason you want to be a Duke brother or cousin, or So-
Fast cars.
just fast cars
Run around
running from
dirt
the
roads.
wall? All right, John, where'd you take this?
The Crusoes from like Robinson Crusoe.
That would totally caught me off guard.
Why is that? I'd love to go exploring and be stuck on an island somewhere out in the middle.
I
of
just
nowhere.
didn't think about them. Like, that one didn't cross my mind at all. Like, to even think about him. Like, that's the reason. So that's a pretty good one for you though, John. I just never thought about the Crusoes.
See, I'd like to go away from everybody and have my family and be just, tropical paradise and be good.
In a tree, hanging out.
Yeah, well, that works too.
It all works. All right. So like I said, because I was like teetering on this. My actual answer for family would have to be, I would want to be part of the Matthews family from Boy Meets World, because they were awesome. So that's where I would be. And then I was thinking, if it's just like family, which this kind of still works, like family, like friendship family thing, I'd either want to be, part of the Wayne family from Batman. Like, he adopts all those kids anyway, so it's kind of family anyways.
Right.
But so I could be part of the Bat family. That would be the
My second would be part of the Goldbergs.
The Goldbergs.
That would be interesting. Yes.
I don't know if I would want to be part of the Goldbergs as much as I just want to be Adam.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be added to. I just want to be him.
Maybe one of Adam's friends. Maybe so.
And you get to be in there, but not like.
I couldn't
all
do
the
with the mother thing like that. I'm glad our mother wasn't like that mother.
Now, glad we didn't have a smother.
Yeah, smother.
Yeah,
smother.
not quite. Yeah. So, by the way, shout out to Mom. That is a bingo square if you're playing bingo with us. All right. Well, then I guess that's our families. I guess if we got to, well, I don't want to say if we got to pick our families. I might still pick you guys. I don't know.
I guess if I had to choose one more, it'd be like the Weasleys.
The Weasleys are pretty good.
Yeah, just
I don't think I'd be part of the Potter family. They all died, except for Harry. Maybe I don't see. That's the thing, is like being part of like the Wayne family or the Weasley family. Like, there's so much danger involved.
There's a lot of danger. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to die. So I just want to be, just kind of cool and just sit back and be part of the Matthews family. So that's my solution. All right. So there's that. Now we got a toy line we got to talk about. So let's jump into it. This is a pretty cool line. BraveStarr from Mattel. Cartoon, movies, all kinds of cool stuff. And these guys were kind of cutting edge. Not quite cutting edge like the Visionaries were with their holograms, but
Yeah, they had some interesting things going on with them.
Yeah, some more cool stuff. So, Michael, why don't you give us you want to start us off with history?
Okay, so BraveStarr. BraveStarr is brought to you by Mattel with He-Man and MOTU waning, Mattel started searching for the next big thing in 1985, 86. They turned to Filmation, who they had a successful partnership with creating the MOTU cartoon and selling all the MOTU Masters of the Universe toy lines and all that. So they turned to them to come up with an idea. Filmation also did a cartoon at that same time named Ghostbusters. I know we brought that up on our real Ghostbusters episode. This was the fake Ghostbusters that had the gorilla with it. So,
Tracy.
Yeah,
his name was Tracy.
Yeah, so they had the fake Ghostbusters cartoon. Filmation did, and then the executive producer of Filmation, Lou Scheimer, he was enamored with a design of a ghoulish cowboy they had made for the Ghostbusters cartoon. He requested that his development team to come up with an idea of a science fiction Western series that kind of incorporated that ghoulish cowboy. So and that went on to become Tex Hex, which is the arch nemesis of BraveStarr.
So I read that this morning. I don't know, at some point when I was reading through stuff. And I got to say, the first thing I thought when I was looking back at everything, because I remember the cartoon, but when I saw Tex Hex, I was like, dude looks like he came straight out of Ghostbusters. Now, not the same Ghostbusters, but still like a ghost, like an evil ghost thing. Like that's what he looked like. And then I read that, I was like, oh, see, I know. I got this.
Yeah, Tex Hex, he was actually designed and created in 1984.
Yeah, quite a bit earlier.
2 years before they even released BraveStarr.
Yeah. So Filmation pitched the idea to Mattel, and then Mattel decided that BraveStarr would become the successor to He-Man. Just kind of a new toy line to bolster their sales since Master of the Universe was kind of dwindling down at that time. A little bit about the cartoon. It takes place in the year 2349 on the planet New Texas.
Well, we got to talk about that. Wait, it's
24,
Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's New Texas.
New Texas.
You can't get any better than that.
Well, the original name was New Cheyenne.
New Cheyenne, yeah.
Yeah, and then when Mattel stepped in, they changed it.
Who puts that together? They're like, oh yeah, everybody, you're smart enough. You're going to think about that. It's like you get your IQ level has to be here to get that, whereas New Texas is just IQ level has to be here, and we're going for kids. So let's not worry about Cheyenne.
I like the idea of 2349 because it's like 49ers gold rush, and the whole thing about this show is the rush of curium nuggets, kind of like it's the gold. Our gold would be the same as their curium is what it is. So
I was
so kind of like the 1849 gold rush.
But our gold can't power a
spaceship.
No. And this is a space western, so you have to have something that can have some kind of power to it. Yeah.
I was upset because I kind of zoomed through one of the cartoons, like a little bit, watching through. I was upset at they're New Texas, but there was no Whataburgers on New Texas.
No.
I was like, come on. Like
the cantina didn't have Whataburger.
There's no Whataburgers there.
No.
I was a little upset about that.
Yeah.
All right, keep going,
Michael. So the line had 5 heroes, 4 villains, 2 vehicles, and then it had a play set. So real quickly through the characters, you had your main character, Marshal BraveStarr. Little things on the back of the packaging that they had. So Marshal BraveStarr, with the spaceport town under attack from all sides from the evil bands of space outlaws, headed by the wicked Tex Hex, the mayor petitioned the Earth Council for help. He expected an army of tough and fearless lawmen, but he got one. But the one was enough. He was Marshal BraveStarr. This figure had an action figure feature to him where you would push the button on his back and his arm would go up and down. So it was quick draw. If he had his gun, it would quick draw, or it was like a power punch.
Oh wait,
so
it went from down to up.
Yeah.
So it was the opposite of Chuck Norris of the karate chop.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say this show could be Walker Texas Ranger if Trevette was a horse.
Yeah.
And they were in space.
That would work. And then they were in space, yeah.
So that's why I was thinking Walker Texas Ranger and Chuck Norris. Yeah. Just I didn't want to put that back in there.
So real quick, you mentioned on the back of the package.
Mm-hmm.
So these weren't blister packs like some of the other ones.
No,
So these were just the window.
Yeah, I got later on in my notes. We'll come across what kind of packaging these are too. So the next hero is called 3030. He's mammoth and muscular. He's a robot horse with supernatural strength. All he is, above all, he is faithful. He's a faithful companion. With Marshal BraveStarr when Marshal BraveStarr finds himself in a bit more trouble than he expected, this trusty stallion stands up to help him fight evil, and he literally stands up. He turns into a talking robot that has a horse head, pretty much, and then he transforms back into a horse when BraveStarr needs to get around. So it was kind of a pretty cool little thing.
Also, there's a blue version of 3030, huge like statue at Denver International Airport, or at least I think he is.
Is that who it is?
I feel like that's who that is. Like,
I think he's like a Denver Bronco fan too.
He's got supposedly that horse statue at DIA has laser eyes that shoots airplanes out of the sky because he's evil. But I think, like, looking back, I was like, that horse looks like 3030, like he's transforming it.
Okay, I got you.
And he was named after the Winchester rifle, the 3030.
Yeah.
So if you couldn't tell that.
Yeah. So the next figure in the heroes line, Deputy Fuzz. This hero can usually be found near his own hero, Marshal BraveStarr. And along with being the deputy, he manages the marshal's office and jail. With his multi-rope in hand, he can down outlaws and evildoers with the flick of his wrist. So he's got this little rope, and it looked like a little one of those sticky things you stick it up on the wall and it crawls down or whatever. Is kind of what it looks like. But yeah, that's what his weapon of choice was the it's called a multi-rope.
Not a lasso of truth.
He is actually one of the prairie. He's like a prairie people, which is the normal people of the planet, New Texas. Like it says, he took care of the marshal's office and jail when the marshal was off doing things. So the next guy we have in line, his name is Handlebar. He probably gets that from his handlebar mustache he's got, and he runs the cantina. So he's as big and solid as a wall of granite. This alien owner of the Fort Kiram Cantina strong arms his way against the most evil of outlaws. When BraveStarr needs a right-hand man, when it comes to flinging a disc, he is no match in the galaxy. He has his action feature. If you push his right arm towards his chest and then you press the button on his shoulder, he flings his arm out. So he's got these little discs that you put in his hand, and when he does that, it flies. It's like he's throwing a frisbee is what it kind of looks like.
So his hand doesn't come off.
No,
it just pops out. I was just looking at the toy, and like he looks like his hand comes off. Also, what is he? Is he a big piece of mucus? Like,
he's a big green thing with a handlebar mustache.
They created his mustache, and then they took this mustache and put it on top of his head.
Right.
Because it's the same thing.
But you're in outer space, so there's different races and everything. So you don't even know what his race is.
Yeah. So, and then you have Colonel Borobot. He's a mighty tank. A mighty tank becomes a space sled for Marshal BraveStarr to ride on. So this is kind of like he pops up and he looks like a U.S. Cavalry Marshal or Colonel, like you see in those old Western movies. But he just pops up. He's on these wheels and his body pops up and then he can fold back down, and BraveStarr can actually get on it and ride it like a little sled, a little army tank or something. I don't know, but it's kind of a weird thing. I watched one of the cartoons and he wasn't in it, so I couldn't really get a feel of what kind of character he really is. But
I was just looking for that one because that one, it just sounds weird.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. But like I said, he's a robot on wheels that folds into a mini tank / sled for BraveStarr to ride on. So he's just kind of an odd character.
Here you go.
So.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
He's
John's. You can jump in on top of him right there.
Yeah, he's goofy. His head. Scroll back up for a second, John. His head, his face.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
he looks like a nutcracker.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a tin soldier or something.
A tin soldier nutcracker, like
he's got like the U.S. Cavalry look to him with his little hat colorations on his head. So.
That's weird. And then that's weird. Sorry, Filmation, that's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of. Well, I don't know. You know, it's probably more Mattel made it look more like that than.
Yeah.
I mean, either way. I mean, I get a horse becoming like a good guy and like can stand on his, but a guy that turns into a tank, that's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They may be trying to pull something from the Transformers idea too. Yeah. Into that. So
they didn't do such a good job.
No. So the bad guys, there's four different bad guys. So you have Tex Hex. So here's what's on the back of his box. He came from the darkness of the galaxy, leading the most evil of gang of space outlaws that ever stormed through the stars. He is out to trying to read what I wrote. He is out to steal all the Carium in New Texas. Then he will control the planet. So, like I said, he's the one there to steal all the Carium and take control of everything. And so he's got a action feature as well. It's almost exactly the same as BraveStarr. It's got that quick draw power punch action, which his arm will go up. It's his right arm.
Yeah, so
he holds his gun. Yeah,
he's drawing there. So
yeah,
and he's got little nuggets of Carium.
Yeah, all the characters come.
They all come with them.
They all come with that Carium.
Okay.
So you get 2 or 3 pieces, and I think even the playset has like 6 or 7 of them that you get with it. So, so the next figure is Outlaw Scuzz. The only prairie person that went bad. This space weasel crawled out of the desert to become a spy for the wicked Tex Hex. He always sneaks around New Texas on the hunt for weapons and carry them to steal. So, John's got a picture of it.
This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? This is Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
He's a short Mr. Hyde, I guess.
I didn't say with Deputy Fuzz. He comes with his own little ride called the Prairie Rocket. And Outlaw Scuzz, this is Scuzz Bucket that he's riding on here. So they both come with their respected vehicles to ride in. So
Scuzz Bucket.
The Scuzz Bucket. And he was in the cartoon that I watched, and I know they can't do this now. Yeah, there's Deputy Fuzz there.
Yeah.
He's smoking like a big cigar looking thing. A Scuzz Bucket is, and he's always coughing the whole time. So you kind of think smoking's bad for you and makes you cough. I don't see it in the toy line, but in the cartoon, he was, and you can't do that anymore. So
no, you can't do
definitely
it
weird
seeing
him
on
smoking a
TV.
cigar.
So yeah, so yeah. So the next bad guy in the line was Thunderstick. He came like a thunderbolt, searching for something to destroy. Outlaw for Tex Hex, he strikes fear in the hearts and terror in the eyes, and the weapon he carries bears his name. So his action feature is you push a button on his back, and a weapon pops out of his arm. So his thunder stick comes out of his arm. Yeah.
He's like a crazy robot.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy robot. Yeah.
Because he's a silver. He got those red eyes. You know, his little cape that he's got on.
Kind of Terminator-ish to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And then the last bad guy in this line was Sandstorm. Bold and bad, this ugly creature keeps the outlaws in line for his evil boss Tex Hex. If a troop of trouble gets in his way, he'll stir up a storm and knock out vapors for a real super stupor. He'll blast them with his vapor blaster. It's kind of hard, kind of tongue twister there. So his name is his name is Sandstorm, but he looks like some kind of sea creature.
He does.
So
he also looks like he's directly out of Star Trek.
Yeah, he looks like a Star Trek creature.
Yeah, like something they would have run into in like episode 12 or something. I don't know. I just pull it up.
But his
episode numbers.
Yeah, he's got an action feature as well. You fill up his back has a hole in it, and you fill him up with water.
And he pees on you?
Plug it. No, he didn't pee on you. But
spits it out his mouth.
But there's a plunger thing on his back, and when you hit that plunger, it squirts the water out of his mouth. So he kind of spits on you.
How ironic.
So that's his. But he shoots water at you, and he looks like a sea creature. But they name him Sandstorm. So I don't know where the sand comes from.
Because is there no water on New Texas?
There's a little bit of water.
I mean, we've defined that there's no water burger, but
yeah, there's no water burger. No,
there's a watering
that would be
holes.
Wada burger, not water burger.
I know, but still, you know how people
It's kind of
say.
soggy buns there.
What? Way to derail it. All right. These. All right. Just so that's all the figures. We still have like I guess rides or vehicles.
Vehicles and the playset.
And the playset to talk about. And then the cartoon, obviously, and way more. These figures, the colors are awesome.
Yeah, I like the colors on them. Yeah, they're all look good. Yeah,
the colors pop. They're not just like random colors that are put together. Like if you look at BraveStarr, he's wearing he's a lot of gold. You know, obviously he's
yellow and a dark yellow or brownish color.
He's got all this stuff going on, and then he has this blue vest, which we'll talk about in a minute why he has a blue vest. But he's got this blue vest that goes on over it, the white hat. It all works. It's not just like random colors that just don't work together, but they still pop and they look good. And I mean, these figures are, to me, they're all really awesome, except for that tank guy thing, which is weird. But
yeah, he's just the oddball in the whole thing.
But all the other figures are pretty awesome. So the blue that they added to BraveStarr, you guys know why they added the blue?
Yep.
All right, John, why they add the blue?
They added the blue when Filmation came to Mattel and they were going through this. Mattel wanted to do full blue uniform and said that boys wouldn't want to play with something in sissy gold color. And that's out of the article that I read.
I didn't hear the word sissy when I was looking at it, but hey, an article's an article. You read what you read.
Yeah.
Same
thing.
They
went back and forth and they agreed with the blue vest.
I think the blue on
the boots as well.
It also helps to like define like that he's a police officer, like because you got to think at that point, the boys in blue, that's what people were, that's what police officers were wearing. That color, I think it all works. You got it's just awesome.
And of course, it is a space western, so he looks like he's dressed up like a cowboy.
And I mean that the blue vest looks like it would just be a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
That they put on top of it. So it works. It's not like they were like, oh, we got to add this blue like Western vest or something. It still looks cool. I think it's awesome. How many points of articulation do these guys have?
11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the waist 11. Does the neck not count?
Yeah, his head swivels, his shoulders.
Well, you've got his shoulders, his elbows. That's 4.
His wrists turns.
8, 9.
His hips and his knees.
3,
1, 2.
4,
I counted
5,
14.
6, 7, 8, 9. I don't even get 11. I don't know. It's at 11.
I always wondered what counts and what doesn't count, because you think
Right.
maybe waist doesn't count. Does waist not count? Because you think you've got wrists. What does his
The
wrist?
wrists don't turn.
So the
It's
wrists
just
don't
his
turn.
elbows,
You've got elbows and shoulders. That's 4. Then
Oh,
you've
his
got
wrist, because I saw a guy playing on YouTube with his figure and his
All right.
wrist turned.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then does his ankles 10, 11.
that's what I assume, 10, 11.
I can't remember his feet. If
So
his
that's
feet
11.
moved
What
or
are you
not.
getting
So-
14?
So okay, so his shoulders, his elbows, and his wrists. That's if his wrists
6.
move. That's 6. And then you've got his waist
7, 8.
and his hips. That's
Oh, I don't think his waist turns. It's
so.
just
Does his waist not turn? So that's one less that I was counting.
yeah.
So, but then you've got his hips, his knees, and his ankles. So that's immediately 12. Like I'm just, and then his neck. Does his neck count? Maybe his neck doesn't count.
I didn't find anything that said which.
I'm just
pieces
wondering
turned.
because I know there's we see all this stuff. You got 7 points of articulation. You got 9 points, whatever. And we never really talk about it. We just say how many they have. And then this horse looks like he's got 37. like his legs move in so many different ways. It's ridiculous.
I don't think the neck doesn't move. And
this is my impersonation of the horse.
I don't think
He's got.
He looks like that in the cartoon too, Andrew.
He does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. All right. So much talk about the articulation. Either way, these are awesome toys. Like the colors, the figures. Yeah. We talk about how big they are. They're 8 inches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're 8 inches.
So they're pretty big for the time.
Yeah, they're pretty good size for the time because at this point you've got the 3 3/4 inch scale that's out for a lot of things. You've got some other things that are coming out with different sizes, like the Transformers. Obviously, MOTUs are those are 5 inches, right? MOTU.
Yeah.
So you've got the 5 inch, but these are 8 inches, which is going to add to cost on that. Did you talk about the boxes, Michael?
Yeah, the boxes.
So
where I just had that and I lost it in my notes because I went to different things here.
You lost
the window box.
That's a bingo square.
Yeah, the box is okay. Here we go. Instead of blister packs like other lines, it was in a box. It had gold foil stamping on it to give it a higher end look and feel. Window box is what they call it. So the figures came in window boxes instead of the blister packs. Had that gold foil stamping on it to give it like a higher end look and feel. And I got a few other things we'll come to here in a minute. So that's the packaging right there. Yeah.
These boxes automatically remind me of Mattel's other big line that came in boxes like this that boys didn't want to play with. Barbies.
Yeah, they came in like a little Barbie doll boxes. Yeah, similar.
Yeah. So I mean, even like I know it's got the gold and the blue and the red. So
they wanted to add the blue to the yellowish outfit to make it look more boyish, but they kept the little boxes like the Barbie doll.
They kept the boxes like the Barbie doll, and then they put gold foil on the boxes. Like it's. They contradict themselves like every other way that they're going. You know? So, I mean, obviously at that age, I probably wasn't thinking this looks like a Barbie box, but that's what it looks like to me now that I'm looking at it. So, all right, let's chat about these, the rides.
Okay.
Because the rides are pretty cool.
Yeah. So you got the Strato coach. It's a futuristic stagecoach that is pulled by a turbo mule is what it's called. It's got a little handle on the back. You pull on it and the wheels actually fold up. For a hover mode, like the DeLorean does on Back to the Future, the time machine, when he goes where he says roads, we don't need road. Where we're going, we don't need roads, and it folds up and takes off. That's kind of what what this does. So it has a handle on the back that you squeeze, and the wheels fold up underneath there. It comes with a strong box on top where you can keep your carry 'em in. The Turbo Mule actually detaches, and your BraveStarr character or whatever can ride on it. Kind of like a space scooter is what they call it.
Is it like a land speeder?
Kind of,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah. It's kind of
Okay.
like a land speeder. Then you had the Skull Walker for the bad guys. The legs on this fold up for flying mode, but it stretches out. It's like the was it ATST for the
I was about to say it's one of those.
yeah, it's like not the AT-AT because AT-AT's got the four legs, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
That's a whole different. That's a whole different topic.
But
I
this
just thought it
looks
was
like
funny that
this
you
looks
called
like
it an
the
AT-AT.
the walker that has the two legs on it. So it's kind of what it looks like with a cow skull on the front of it to make it look more Western. That's what it is.
ATST.
Yeah, ATSD. Okay,
I just thought, like I said, I thought it was funny that you call it an AT-AT, but then you call it an ATST instead of an AT-AT. I don't know.
Well, I said the AT-AT, the AT-AT had the four legs, and the ATST had.
Right. It's a whole different conversation. It's just the difference of calling it an ATST and then saying an AT-AT when they're basically the same thing. Why not say an ATST or I don't know.
No, that don't work.
I don't know.
That's why you say ATST.
I just thought it was funny. Yeah. So this is John's showing it here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
and it has a saddle on it that you ride on top of it. So you sit on it and it walks. So that's the bad guy. It also has a feature where it's got a little knob on the back and you turn it side to side and the legs move back and forth like it's actually walking.
Cool.
So, but that's one little cool feature for this line is each of them had their own little action feature to them. So it's pretty neat. So you got Fort Curium. This consists of a command center, a bank, and a jail, which you can actually buy all separate, or you can buy them all at once. They were offered all in one big box, or you can buy them separately and then connect them yourself. I'm sure it'd be cheaper buying them if you're buying one at a time, or you can just spend the money and buy them all at once. But
yeah, I think I'd just rather buy the whole thing.
I mean,
because eventually you'll end up with all three of them anyway, so might as well buy them all at once.
I'll tell you right now,
That's the way
2021
my
me,
thinking is.
2021 me is buying them all together. 1986 me is probably not buying any of them. So
Right.
I'm definitely adding all of them to my Christmas list. But
yeah.
So this one, once put all together, actually was Mattel's tallest playset.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. It's got a cool little
taller
feature.
than your Graceful.
Really,
it's got a cool little feature on the top of this that we'll come to in just a minute. But yeah, these things also, we got the windows blow out on them in the bank vault blasts open, and then the fort wall transforms into like a little boardwalk. But they have little air powered things. You squeeze a little thing and the window blows out like you're actually blowing it with a gun or something like that, or with dynamite or whatever, but the other cool little thing with this line is Mattel was playing around with an idea called the Neutra laser or laser fire backpacks with this line, but they had this concept with the Masters of the Universe line had it. There was another line that they had in there, another toy line they had that have this. It's just like a little light powered laser thing. So in this one, the laser fire backpacks fit onto the figures, allowing for interactivity between the figures. There was also a full sized one called the Neutra lasers that the kids could actually play role play with. These were handheld little guns, like just same thing as laser tag is what it was.
Yeah.
The little infrared light.
Yeah, the infrared beam. You can, going back to the Fort Curium, like I said, on top of the command center, the very top part of it had a little sensor on it, and you can shoot it either with your figure's backpack or you can shoot it with your own little handheld gun, laser gun. And it had a little platform. If you had a bad guy sitting on it or whatever, when you shot it, it would fly the bad guy off the top of it. It's like spring loaded with the
same with the bank and the gel. The bank, you could shoot the safe and it would blow the safe open and all the curium would fall out. Or the gel cell, you could shoot the window and the barred window would blow off.
Yeah.
They can escape. So,
Can you shoot the tank and he'll blow up?
No,
because that would be cool, just to get rid of that weird guy.
Yeah, he's the only one that doesn't really fit into the whole thing. It's just kind of weird.
Fit into this thing at all.
Mm-mm. So he's just like a little. He folds up and BraveStarr rides on him. I don't know. It's kind of weird. He's more of a vehicle than he is a character, is what I think. But,
I got to show you this picture that I'm looking at. This is the picture that I'm looking at. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger here. So
there you go.
Everybody's in here. You got the whole command center, the jail, and then all these figures. And then this guy, he just looks weird.
Yeah,
I see him in the back. Yeah,
like he's just in the background. He just looks weird. So I don't know. Somebody was on crack.
So it was a pretty cool little line. But it all goes back to promoting the line, promoting this to get it going.
Yeah, is that where we're at now?
That's where we're at now, because these came out. Yeah, these came out in 1986. It came out December 1986. The plan was to have the toy line on the shelves by December 1986 for the holidays, for Christmas holidays. It was before the TV show aired. Mattel believed the line could be big, independent from the show. The figures came in, like I said, in window boxes where I was at a while ago. And let's see, Mattel hoped that BraveStarr could compete with Cabbage Patch Kids and Trivial Pursuit that holiday season.
Okay, let's just talk about the fact that they released in December of 1986 for the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
You release something now in December of a holiday, or like in hopes to get. There's so many people that do so much Christmas shopping before that. Like you've completely missed Black Friday, which we don't know what's going to happen with Black Friday. You know, last year was weird. This year, who knows what's going to happen with Black Friday? But you completely miss Black Friday if you don't get it out by November. And then, so like at this point, if you want something for Christmas rush, you got to drop it in October.
Yeah, you got to get down, several months before now.
So, I mean, that way you can get it to the stores. There can be hype about it. And then people are going to start buying it for Christmas and whatnot. So the fact that they released it in December is crazy to me. And then the fact that they thought they were going to be Trivial Pursuit, these guys were like I've already said it, they were on crack.
Yeah, we talked about Trivial Pursuit in our gaming board game episode, and it was how big it was when it came out, when it hit, how many they sold and everything that year. And then Cabbage Patch Kids, there was no way you could beat Cabbage Patch Kids that year. That was just phenomenal for them. But Mattel had so high of hopes for this. They were already coming up with the second wave of toys before the first wave even hit the stores.
Which do you have a list of what they were talking about on the second wave? Was that ever released or anything? Could you find anything? Because I couldn't find
it. I never did.
I got some.
Okay.
So Judge J.B. McBride, Long Arm John.
I did see her on there. Yeah, I did see
Rampage, Dingo Dan, and the Star Hawk vehicle were the next releases that I found.
Okay,
I thought maybe they would do a Two-Face, because there was a character that episode I watched had a vulture that was half or mostly robotic vulture, and it had a real vulture head and a robotic vulture head.
Two-Face.
They kind of talked to each other. Yeah,
it was Two-Face.
Two-Face was the name.
You must have watched the same one I watched.
Yeah.
What?
So, but I thought it was weird because it's a Batman villain too. So
it's a Batman villain name.
Yeah,
but he's real vulture, fake vulture, or metal vulture, or robot vulture, and robot body, or whatever.
It was just kind of weird, but
that's not Mattel, that's like two head.
His name
It's
was
not
Two-Face.
Two-Face, it's Two
I,
Head.
I know,
but
but that's like
it's called
that's not a
Two-Face.
Two-Face thing. That's Two-Head. Two-Face is when you've got two like sides of your face. Come on.
I don't know. But Mattel thought this line would be a match or pass the success of Barbie. So this is how high they had the hopes on this line. And I think if they would have done it correctly, it probably would be up there. I don't think it'd be past Barbie, but they thought that's how good a line this really was.
Yeah, they had shipped out. What was it? So, like you said, in December when they dropped them, they sent out $15 million worth of toys to the stores in December that year.
Yeah.
$15 million. And that's they were depending on them taking off.
I gotta say, I mean, like I've said, these are cool toys. They look cool. They've got good playability to them, except for that stupid tank thing. They're awesome. Like the colors, you can shoot at them. They've got the interactivity with the guns, the windows and all that. Like every bit of this, except for that stupid tank thing, is awesome, and it would be great. They should have waited for the cartoon and then released them in 87.
Right. So
go ahead, John.
Let me throw this in real quick because this goes into the marketing part. But Toy Fair was held in New York in February.
Yeah. It's always been held in February. Yeah.
Mattel didn't go. They did something in September with a private showing for these to investors or whoever, and they brought them in to the deal. They were directed into a smoky Western saloon where they were served a non-alcoholic red or green punch, imported, of course, from New Texas, and were encouraged to play with the Nutri-Lasers and the toys.
So they gave them punch and let them play laser tag. That's what it is.
And this is in September, and then in December they're shipping out everything.
They shipped everything out in December, yeah.
So
the problem that they had, this is why it failed, was back in the 80s, the interest of toys came from the interest of the cartoon. Right. So kids fell in love with the mythology of what they were watching.
Except for Visionaries.
Except for Visionaries. Or RoboForce. But anyway, they like I said, they fell in love with the mythology and they wanted a piece of that.
Yeah.
And they didn't get that because the cartoon, these came out in December 86. The cartoon didn't come out until
10 months later,
September of 87. Yeah. It ran from September 87 to December 88. There were 65 episodes for the cartoon. So they had that part, but they were just a year behind or 10 months behind. If they would have had that cartoon come out in September 86, this line would have been, they would have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different waves instead of just this one.
I honestly
feel the second one that just kind of fell apart.
I honestly feel we'd be talking about this in the same way as we talk about Star Wars and like MOTU. Like it's a great line. It's got a great story behind it. Mm-hmm. It's not crazy. It's not, I mean, you've got Western and space and steampunk and you've got all these different things that merge in together. It's a great story. I remember watching the cartoon, and I mean, it was cool. Like had they waited, they would have been up there with I think the MOTU characters and everything.
And that one episode I watched, it wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't like it was something silly and stuff. It was a decent episode. It probably would have held up. I hadn't watched more of them, but it's been a long time, since the 80s since I've seen it. But when I watched that episode earlier today, it seemed it was a decent episode. So
and did you watch it on YouTube?
Yeah, it was on YouTube.
They're all on.
They're all on YouTube.
Yeah, BraveStarr has their own YouTube deal now, so they've got all the
VOD on YouTube there. So
all the deals plus the movie.
I was about to say, is a movie on that? I didn't know the movie because the movie's pretty cool. I watched part of that yesterday as I was just like skipping through stuff and everything. So because I remember it. So
yeah. So talking about the movie. The movie is what told the origins of the figures or the origins of the guys of the characters, and it didn't come out until March of '88. So you're already you're
it's
a whole year
way
and a
back.
half.
Yeah.
Right.
You're already a year and a half from when you put the toys out, and it's already belly up by the time the Origin TV movie came out.
Well, even with that, there's so much they left off the toys from the movie because they didn't talk about with the toys. They didn't talk about his mystical powers and stuff.
I was just
like
about
that.
to get into that. Like, there's nothing about that with the toy line.
No, they didn't want it.
nuh-uh.
Mattel was like, we're not going to do that because we can't. We're not putting it into the toys.
You want to know
So
why?
they left it off.
Because Visionaries failed, so they weren't about to put some holograms onto these guys. I don't even know if the years match up because I forget what year Visionaries released.
Forget the magic. We're going all Western.
Yeah, just all Western. So
Guns,
I mean,
all.
but if like I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, because then you watch the cartoon and you're like, hey, he can do these things and he can have the eyes of an eagle and the smell of a vulture or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember what the hell they were. Strength of a bear.
It was
Strength of a bear.
I wrote it down. Where
Eyes of an eagle, ears of a wolf,
speed of the puma,
Strength of the bear, speed of the puma, speed of the puma,
4 of them.
ears of the wolf, eyes of the hawk. Like, why not speed of the cheetah? Puma.
Well, cheetah's was not quite Western. They got pumas in the kind of more Western.
Do they?
It's like a Black Panther. Is all it is.
I don't even know.
Black Panther.
I don't recall any pumas in the
You got Timon. You got a furry dog named Timon.
And why didn't he have the humor of the meerkat? Like, he should have had that. I don't remember any pumas in the spaghetti westerns that I watched.
No.
Just want to throw that out there.
That's because there's no pumas in Italy where they
filmed all the spaghetti westerns.
Spaghetti westerns, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, So those are none of that is added into the toys, but it's in the cartoon, and I still think it's pretty cool because like they don't do it like crazy like the Visionaries where they had to have this whole little chant thing. Like all he has to do is say "Speed of the Puma," and he turns into like Puma.
And he just thinks.
No, he doesn't turn. He just takes off.
He just thinks.
Well, I mean, he doesn't turn into it, but he just like can run like that.
All he has to do is think about it, and he doesn't have to say it.
He doesn't have to say it.
When you're watching it, you can tell he's just thinking it. And he goes he's just thinking strength of the bear, and then he gets the strength. So,
did you guys see I watched a clip where he does strength of the bear, and then he pulls this big truck thing off of the cliff.
Yeah.
Like that thing looked huge.
Yeah,
it was.
It also
looked like one of the deals from
Space 18-wheeler is what it was.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like it would have been hovering because they're in space. But I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not.
Don't really need wheels if you have hover.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. Where are we at? So we have. That's all the toys, right?
Well, going back to the Indian stuff and the magic type stuff that we're talking about. If they would have released the cartoon when the toy line released, the kids could use their imagination to take care of that part of it.
Yes.
So Mattel really didn't have to. If they would have done it right, they, like I said, and it would have helped the toy line to go even further. So.
Yeah, I think they should have released the cartoon just right before,
Yeah, had they released in September and held this, or if they would have just held this until the next December, they would have been fine. I think they would have been fine. One character that I want to talk about in the cartoon, the shaman, whose name is Shaman. Like, all right. Whoever named him, they need to be fired, and they need to become, maybe something like running with animals, something. I don't know. All right, so there's the toys. The classic cartoon is a pretty awesome little show. John, you looked up original pricing for the figures, which
I found $8 to $9. I mean, that's just something that I came across, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right for what you're looking for. The size. These are larger figures.
Yeah, and that's not the deluxe one with.
That's not the deluxe stuff or anything like that. But $8 to $9, it's not bad. Current prices. I looked these up. These are what have sold on eBay fairly recently. I found a Tex Hex that was opened out of box for $35. A Sandstorm that was opened out of box for $21. Marshal BraveStarr that was a near complete set of Marshal BraveStarr that was opened out of box for $80. And then also found opened out of the box complete for $60 and one for 63. So I think the guy who sold for 80 that wasn't complete just got lucky. A handlebar, unopened, sealed. They took the best offer, but it was around $60-ish. So that's not too bad for some collectible products. There was a Fort Curium that I saw open for 69, but I think it was just the one section. It wasn't the whole thing. It was just that one section. Now here's the crazy thing: an opened complete set of 30-30 for $237, and then one for $350. Both of those sold in January of 2021. So I wondered, I asked you guys about that one, if he was a more rare item, because it just seems like I don't know, shot up in value with some of those other.
He's just more popular. Yeah.
I mean, he's a cool horse.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a horse like that. It'd be cool. And then I found this awesome. This is this awesome poster. I'm going to share it. So if anybody's watching the YouTube, this awesome movie poster for the movie, you can get this at Walmart for like $20, which is not expensive, but just the graphics, everything on this just is cool to me. Maybe I'll get one, put it behind my wall or on my wall over here. Brian will be confused, but it'll work. So yeah, I saw that. Pretty cool. Just those are some of the prices. So I would rank this as very collectible.
Yeah. I want to throw in there. I don't know if Michael mentioned it with the Fort Curium that I think you said you can put them all together, right? And they make, like, you fold them all up into a deal and they make this big old fort and stuff. It was pretty cool looking at that and going through. I saw something with them actually doing all that with that. Yeah. But you have to you can move the pieces around, but if they're not in the right place, you can't fold it up. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. And then
that's like us. If we're not in the right order, we don't work.
Right. But
you can move us around, but it's just not always the same.
Then you have Handlebar, who's the Katina owner, but you don't have a Katina or anything why he should be a toy.
Well, yeah, they were going to put a cantina. They're going to put a cantina in the in this here, but they figured the kids wouldn't know what a cantina is. So they just
I read something on it.
They just went with the bank and the jail, which was more Western.
And the article I read, they compared it to, okay, the boys wouldn't know what to do in a cantina, but you can have Barbie with a ice cream parlor eating ice cream and stuff, but the boys wouldn't want to sit there and eat food, and so that's why they cut it out.
But I don't know why they wouldn't, because Star Wars had a cantina. Their little
little band.
Yeah. So
maybe that's what they were missing. They were missing a band.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's what it was.
So we kind of talked about this a little bit. Like, I don't remember having these toys. I remember the cartoon, but I don't remember having these. But they're cool toys. I just at this point, or I guess not at this point, but close to this, I'm getting into turtles. So that's completely where my focus is going to be at.
I think we lost it on this one because when it came out and the toys were out, but we were big into the cartoons and watching cartoons, and if the cartoons weren't there, we didn't go towards. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. That's the failure that they had. Yeah, if we would have saw the cartoon and then seen the toys, we would have probably gotten the toys.
Right.
Yeah. So. They failed on this one. There is go ahead, Mike.
One more thing, real quick. Like we said, there was a Wave 2 planned. Some prototypes were assembled, but nothing was ever released. BraveStarr was the last animation series for Filmation before they closed down in 1989. So kind of figure that out. Yeah.
So that's where I was going. On that, what I was about to say.
Okay, is that what you're about to say? Okay.
Yeah.
On that, their mother company, I guess, sold them off to, who was it? L'Oreal. And
the lotion people?
Yes. The French lotion people and everything. But before the sale was completely finalized, they shut down all of Filmation. So only thing L'Oreal got was just the library of stuff they had. So, but as you said, they had the second line. They were also working on Bravo, which was the sequel to BraveStarr.
Yeah, it was about the Prairie People. Yeah, their
yeah.
adventures. Yeah.
And then the day that they shut down Filmation was the day before. It was February 3rd, 1989. And it was the day before the WARN Act went into place, to where if you were going to do a massive layoff, you have to give your employees 60-day notice.
Oh, wow.
So the day before that went into effect is when they shut it down.
They shut everything
So
down.
they didn't have to give
And
anybody. Oh, wow.
You're done.
Nobody gets notice. Everybody's fired.
That's crazy.
Yes. So I was going to mention that this is basically what made Funimation die.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but still, you look at that like this is the last thing they did. So it's got to be the one thing that, had it been a success, maybe they would have been around longer to do more stuff. So
yeah.
All right. So that's BraveStarr from Mattel and Funimation, like in about a 45-minute conversation for everybody. I don't have any toy truths for this. There wasn't a whole lot. I mean, I could have pulled some stuff out and done something, but it was more of just fun. Like, this was just a fun one. Plus, I'm doing a lot of toy rankings for the next two, or not toy rankings, toy truths for our next two episodes, which will be huge.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need to rank these. So let me get this up here so we can rank these. I sure hope this makes it in somebody's top 10. We'll see. BraveStarr. All right, Michael, you're up.
Okay. Yes. Not in my top 10, but it's close. It's going to be number 13 for me.
Number 13, which would be 11, 12,
Right
13.
above Muscle.
Right above Muscle.
Yeah. Underneath WWF Superstars, and above Muscle figures.
Yeah. All right. John?
I was looking because I was like, could they go in my top 10? But I don't think so. They're going to go spot number 11.
Spot number 11.
I just can't knock out Star Wars yet for something that I don't remember that much of.
So with that, John, you have ruined our WWF Superstars matchup. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, sorry. I
don't care. I just want to throw that out there. It was the last one that was all still the same for all of us since we killed RoboForce last week. All right, so Michael's at 13, John's at 11. I remember this show. After looking at my rankings, I'm actually really sad that Voltron. I think something happened, and I put Voltron somewhere in the wrong spot. Something went above it or whatever. I would. I don't want Voltron to drop out of my top 10. I think Voltron's pretty awesome. So I'm also going with 11. But if Voltron wasn't right there on 10, I think this would have been number 10 for me. It's just so close.
That's where I was looking. I was like, could it make number 10? And then I was like, Star Wars. No.
Yeah. See, Star Wars has already fallen out because just that original Kenner line, I don't remember that well. I think they're awesome. I just don't.
I remember the Jabba the Hutt Michael had. That's about the only one I remember from being a kid.
I don't remember that. I was too much of a baby at that point, I guess. Don't remember it. I've seen the pictures. I think that Kenner line is awesome. It's not there. The Voltron line, I remember that one. I think it's awesome. I really think Crash Test Dummies. Something happened in there, and Voltron got marked way too low.
You just put everybody above them.
I know. Like that's the only problem with doing these rankings is you're like it's so hard to like week to week.
This line is BraveStarr is higher up on the list for me because I don't remember. Like I said, we don't think we had any of the toys. I don't remember any of them, but I do remember the cartoon. But I think just the with the laser tag type stuff going on with it, and some of the little action figures, and just the way that they look, I like
the playability,
the playability on it, and everything. Yeah. That's what ranked it up a little higher than what I probably would have on if it was something else.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean, I like
And
like you said, the figures look great.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. Like, I remember the cartoon. We didn't have any of the that we can remember, at least. But the playability on these are freaking awesome. That's why I was hoping it would make my top 10. I just can't push Voltron out because Voltron playability to me on Voltron and actually playing with those is higher on that. Plus, I got a Voltron behind me back over here, and he might shoot me. So keep that up there. So when you actually have, like, you're only looking at, your top 10 on things, it's really hard because these are all, there's so many awesome toy lines from the 80s and the early 90s that are just, that's why we're doing a podcast about each one. Like, what if we said, hey, we're going to do one podcast episode with your top 5 or top 10, and we'd never be able to have an episode, like, because we never be able to decide what those are. So, yeah. So, all right, we got a 13, an 11, and 11, because we don't want to drop some out. Like, yeah. Okay, so there's that. Let's stop sharing that. Let me look back at my notes over here and see where we're at. All right, toy rankings. Like I said, no toy truths. We are at a 4. Michael's got 4. John's got 2. And I only have 1 point. But that's 1 point that I'm happy about because that means I tripped you guys up on something. All right, let's just run, John. I think we're good to wrap this one. You guys are good to wrap this one?
Yep.
I'm good.
All right. John, give us our socials again.
All right, our website, toyrewindpodcast.com. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at toyrewindpod. Join in our Facebook group and join the conversations. Check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/toyrewindpod. We stream our toy box showcase on Facebook and Twitch. You can check the YouTube channel now. Podcast Bingo, don't forget that one if you haven't already done it. podcastbingo.com/toyrewind. And then you can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com.
And like I mentioned earlier, make sure you are following us on those socials. That's where you're going to get information, especially hopefully this week. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out, which actually may be technically before this episode comes out. But from this point right now that I'm talking, which happens to be the day after the Buccaneers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Yes. So yeah, make sure you're following us on those because you're going to want this information. We got new stuff that's going to be coming out with some connections that we have with our Nerds Unite community. Speaking of the Nerds Unite community, make sure you follow and listen to make sure if you want to go listen, follow these podcasts. If you're into the movies, check out Movie Retakes, the Totally Rad Movie Podcast. If you're just into nerdy stuff, there's Nerd Portraits, Nerdy Curious. The STS guys, freaking awesome. They just talk about everything. 3 Beers and a Mic. Obviously, the 4 Dorksmen. Those guys they always make my Mondays make me laugh. The Average Nerd Podcast, and then Geek Together. Big shout out to all those guys just doing awesome stuff. And Secondary Heroes. Forgot about those guys. If you're watching WandaVision, make sure you listen to Secondary Heroes. They're doing great recaps on all of them. And
I got through all theirs. So
yeah, it'll definitely make you like want to rewatch the show after you've heard some of the things that they talk about. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, I missed that. Or, like I saw those also, or, different things. So, by the way,
Alex is hilarious when you listen to him talk about it.
Alex
has no idea what's going on half the time.
He has no idea what's going on. Episode 1, he's like, this is stupid. I'm out. Episode 4, he's like, I'm all in. So yeah, Alex is great. So shout out to those guys on all those stuff that they're doing. Obviously, shout out to Sully for basically being the godfather of the Nerds Unite community and kind of bringing us all together. So without him, where would we be? It would have been a really crappy 2020. I'll tell you that much. So. Yeah. Well, with that, this has been episode, 28. I don't even know. 28. Yeah, it's right up there. I even put it up there.
There.
It's pretty bad. Like, I know the STS guys forget their episode numbers, but they're in like 100 whatever numbers. But yeah. So episode 28, we talked about BraveStarr. Great thing. We've got good things coming up on the horizon. So, with that, on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at Toy Rewind Podcast, play on.
been listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.